All right, sorry about the dogs barking. This is the second half of the video for scientific writing. We were on putting new info last, and we had just talked about why the sentence wasn't so great. So let's look at the green sentence, which is the improved sentence. The impact craters are depressions on the surface of a planet created by the bombardment of asteroids. These landforms typically exhibit ejecta blankets, rims, walls, and floors. So here we've started with these landforms. It's not the exact same as impact craters. It's a different wording, but it's the same idea. So it keeps cohesion between these sentences in the paragraph. And the next part of that is using passive voice judiciously. It's not that you can never use passive voice. It's that you want to avoid it and only use it when it would allow you to bring more cohesion to your paragraph in keeping kind of subjects the same. So using active voice doesn't make your writing less scientific. It makes it actually more interesting to read. And this is something that I think we don't learn so much because a lot of old scientific writing uses a lot of passive voice, and that's actually not what's wanted anymore. So let's look at some examples. A bad sentence would be, high-resolution photos will be collected by the camera on the rover. These images are best captured by this particular camera. It seems really, the subject is not at the beginning. The thing actually capturing these photos or collecting these photos is at the end. So we want to move that around. The rover's camera collects high-resolution photos. This particular camera is the best tool for capturing the images. So subject's at the beginning. It's actually doing the action. The last part of cohesion and emphasis is connecting the first sentence and the last sentence. They don't need to be identical, but the idea here is that every paragraph has a main goal or a main idea. And so every sentence in the paragraph is working toward that goal. And the sentences aren't literally the same. They're all working toward that goal. So here, the goal of the paragraph you're about to read is going to be defined by the first sentence. So craters are circular depressions found on all terrestrial bodies in our solar system. These landforms share common characteristics. Characteristics include ejecta blankets, rims, walls, and floors. Floors of impact craters are particularly good places to locate breccia rocks. So here, we start the sentence or the paragraph with something that makes us think we're going to be maybe comparing across bodies or looking across the solar system, but we're ending with something highly specific, which is breccia rocks. So it's like, where is this paragraph actually going? It's not clear what the goal is. So let's look at this comparison down here. Craters are circular depressions found on all terrestrial bodies in our solar system. On icy bodies, these landforms can relax their shape, becoming flatter over time. On rocky bodies, craters maintain their shapes for longer times. So the second paragraph, all of the sentences, they're contrasting. These last two sentences are contrasting what happens to craters, but they're all related to this idea of all the terrestrial bodies, of all the bodies that are solid in our solar system. What's the difference between them? So this is a paragraph that's cohesive. Now, simplicity is, again, we don't have to sound smart. The people reading science writing or scientific writing have very little time to actually do it. So they're going to appreciate you being brief. Think about someone who's got to grade 150 science papers in a week. They are going to appreciate brevity. So first, omit needless words or ineffectual and wordy phrases. So these are some examples of ineffectual phrases. Note that, it's important to realize that, or so-called. The idea here is that it doesn't actually matter if you start a sentence with these. Get rid of it. So it is important to realize that craters are the most common landform in the solar system. Well, if you just say craters are the most common landform in the solar system, you're getting the same message across. Somebody's still going to learn that. And then these are wordy phrases. So you could pick anything here on the left and just replace it with the word on the right. A large majority of makes you sound smart, but really you can just write most. Also, use simple words and subjects. So longer phrases are going to violate some rules from that first part of subjects and verbs in that they're going to increase the distance between the two. So some people might think about using methodology or utilize instead of methods and use, but just get rid of it. The methodology included utilizing photos collected by the rover and sent back to Earth to look for signs of life. The better version of this is our methods, including using photos to look for signs of life. These photos had been sent back to Earth, or had been sent from the rover back to Earth. Very easy. We could even have changed the second paragraph better and write the rover sent these photos back to Earth. But here we had already mentioned the photos, so I started the sentence with the photos to keep it unified. And then lastly, use adjectives and verbs frugally. This is my least favorite word to read in a science paper. Just get rid of very. You don't need very. You don't need extremely. Every word that you put into your writing needs to serve a purpose, and very does not serve a purpose. Just pick a better word. So in red, the results of our work provide very convincing support for our hypothesis. Okay? The better version is, our results strongly support our hypothesis. You don't need very to convey the same idea. So thank you. Great video.